How have preparations for this fight been as far as the pandemic is concerned in Sweden?
Yeah, so we had a bit more relaxed approach to the pandemic, and at first few months before summer, we had to train outside, so it was more strength and conditioning based. But for the past 8 weeks, which has been the length of my fight camp, I've been able to train as usual. So I wouldn't say it has been affected really.
And since coming to Bellator, you're 2-0 with 2 first-round finishes. Is there anything specific or any changes in your training that you attribute that success to?
I think it's a matter of focus, and like I was fighting mostly local shows in Sweden before I got a short notice fight on the first big league when the UFC came to Sweden in 2017. And that was kind of my first interaction with a really high level, and I learned so much from there. And I think I just brought everything with me from every fight to Bellator, and I had a good momentum. So, I mean, now my third fight will probably be even better because I've learned so much from these first 2 ones, even though they were quick finishes.
All right, great. We got a question from Steve Jewin, MMA Mania. He says, you're already called the future. So what does that future look like for you with the win over Emmanuel Dawa on Saturday?
Well, that's funny because that name was given to me like 6 years ago. I don't feel like the future. I feel like the present now. So we can change it to the present. But to answer your question, I'm looking at one fight at a time. So now my focus is on Saturday. But after that, I would really like to fight in Sweden because it's been rumored that Bellator is going to come to Stockholm. And that would be a very nice fourth fight for me. So if it's on the horizon, I'm going to wait and hold for that and hopefully be like a main event or co-main maybe.
Awesome. We've got a couple questions here. We'll go to Ben Allen.
Hi, Oliver. You're 2 for 2 now in Bellator with 2 first-round finishes, very eye-catching. I know you want to fight in Sweden next side in an ideal world, but do you think a win could potentially catapult you even into the title picture?
Oh, I don't know. To be honest, I don't really follow the division or fighting that much because to me, martial arts is a very personal journey. So I'm so focused into my own training and the development. So I don't really know who's like the top ranked guys, but I just want to fight whoever the fans would like me to see most to make exciting fights because I view this more as an entertainer than an competitor.
And last one from me, you're going to be taking on Emmanuel Dawa of France, obviously in France on a night of huge significance to the country's mixed martial arts scene. How do you see this fight playing out, and would you take some pleasure in spoiling the party for the French faithful?
Absolutely. I think this will be a very entertaining fight because he is a very powerful and athletic, just like me, and comes from 2 finishes. So even though I always prefer to have like a 3-round all-out war, I think this fight will probably end pretty early.
All right, we'll go to Matt.
Hi, Oliver. Your nickname, The Future. What does a win over Emmanuel do for your future?
Hopefully, it will get me the main event spot of Bellator Sweden next. That's what I'm hoping for.
Okay, brilliant. Thanks for that.
We'll now go to Donna Corby.
All right. I know that you just said that you don't particularly follow the division too much and you're not too concerned with what else is happening in the division. But that being said, does it irritate you a little bit that Ross Houston shows up in your division and without a warm-up fight, without fighting anybody, he's put right in with MVP and with a big name and he's in the main event? Does that annoy you at all that he's sort of overtaken you in the division already?
It doesn't annoy me as much as it surprised me, to be honest. I know he's a very hyped name, but to be honest, I think he's taking water over his head. Do you use that expression in English too? No, okay, it's a Swedish expression. He's in for more than he asked for. I think
He
that's the
bit
one.
off more than he can chew, is what we would say.
Yes, that's what I mean. I used the Swedish one. Anyway, yeah. So, I mean, we'll see. I haven't seen any Ross fights, so I'm not counting him out. But I know MVP is really high level, and it will be interesting to see if he has anything to put up against him.
I don't want to get too political or anything, but I do want to ask about the situation in Sweden throughout this whole thing. It's been a thing of great controversy worldwide. It's been polarizing. People have thought you did a great job, or people have thought you were irresponsible. The Swedish. What was your feeling throughout the last few months on when you were at home?
I think, well, I don't have any numbers to compare, but I mean, we have had a very relaxed approach to it. And in my closest, like, bunch of friends and family, nobody has gotten it. And we have been able to live more or less as usual. At first, we had some restrictions, and we had to, because I'm also a martial arts school owner, so I had to adapt to all the guidelines and move our trainings outside. So it was a bit of a struggle at first, but I think it would have been much worse to be locked down and not being able to go out and wearing these everywhere. So I feel Sweden has taken a pretty good approach, and I hope I don't offend anyone who's had trauma experiences from COVID. But as far as I know, no one in Sweden close to me has gotten it. So I feel we went the right approach.
Is it possible? Is it strange for you? I know that everybody coming into the bubble has, into bubbles in boxing and MMA has they've been on various levels of lockdown themselves. They know kind of the drill. Is it jarring for you? Does it affect you negatively to have to go into such a strict environment now, whereas you're from the country that was probably most relaxed towards this?
Not really. I mean, I've been quarantined now in my room for 3 days, but I brought plenty of good books and a computer with Netflix. So
what have you been watching?
Cobra Kai.
Oh God.
Yeah. It's a bit nostalgic since I come from a karate background. So yeah, I saved it for this trip.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go to Santiago.
Hi, Oliver. Greetings from Amsterdam. How are you doing?
Fine, thanks. Nice to meet you.
Thank you. I have 3 short questions for you.
Right.
Your Bellator debut was in London during a post-Lim fight. Had you ever done this before, and how did that fight feel for you?
To be honest, that was horrible. I think I spent 11 hours in the same locker room because we weren't allowed to go outside, and I didn't bring any food or anything because they told me everything would be at the venue, so I could buy things there. During the night, I was the last fight on the undercard. So the main cards has to start at a televised time, So all the fights before mine went like 3 rounds. So as time passed, they had to move my fight to start the televised main card right on time. And so I had already warmed up and was prepared to go out and fight. And they came back and told me like, okay, we have to postpone your fight, maybe 4 or 5 fights. So 4 fights later, I start to warm up again, getting that feeling. And then they come back to tell me, no, it's going to be like 3 or 4 more fights. So I went to rest, got up again, started warming up again. And this procedure happened 4 or 5 times. Me warming up, getting all the jitters and getting ready to go out and fight. And it ended up with me going to sleep. And when I woke up, I was so hungry. The main card was going on. My coach was the only one who could go out, run around the arena to find something to eat. I hadn't eaten in like 8 hours. So my fight fuel was like a big hot dog and a Coke, not what I would prefer. And then when I finally got to fight was after the main event. So it was after midnight. It was like 12:30 or something, and I was supposed to fight like 7:30. So that was a very challenging experience, but the only thing I could comfort myself with was that my opponent had the same treatment. So yeah, I got the win.
Amazing
Maybe
that you
more
still
proud.
got the finish. Yeah, that was special. So there's a lot of momentum behind Swedish MMA right now with you, with Gus, with Chimaev. Can you feel that as well in Sweden?
Yeah, absolutely. We have a lot of great up-and-comers as well. So I think MMA will only grow in Sweden, which is great for the sport and for all athletes, because I feel we need to look at this like we're growing Swedish MMA and not compete inside the country that much. So I'm just happy for everyone's success.
Do you think Bellator would already be in Sweden if it wasn't for this pandemic?
I think so, because they were talking about it already last year or at the beginning of this year. I heard the rumors. So hopefully early in 2021.
Okay, we'll go to Lenny and then now.
How's it going, Oliver?
All good, thanks.
Yeah, so Bellator making history this weekend, being the first major promotion to hold an event in France. How does it feel to be part of that history this weekend?
Very cool to be a part of MMA history and also to touch new ground. I was hoping that it would be a Swedish Bellator event this time around, but this is the next best thing, I guess. And after a win here, maybe we'll get that fourth fight in Sweden.
Yeah, the last one for me. So a huge fight for the welterweight division takes place on the same card as you, MVP versus Houston. Right. Maybe if you win and you will take the winner of that fight, would that be a possibility if you getting the winner of that fight that weekend?
Whatever Bellator and the fans feel like for me, I mostly put focus on myself and my performance. So I don't really care who I face. I don't have a lot of insight into the other fighters in the division, to be honest. To me, fighting is a very personal journey. So yeah, whoever the fans want to see me fight, let's do it.
Yeah, thank you so much and good luck this weekend.
Thank you.
All right, that's actually all we've got. Thank you very much for your time.
Cool.